Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly DLC, where we interfere in the intro, and I don't. I'm Kurosh Zavi, joined always by my co-host Daniel Vargas.
West Virginia.
Fucking that's and Mr. Jang.
Have you ever had a dream that you try to do that you so much that you could do anything?
Bing.
And if you're not familiar with what we do, we come to you every week from this room. Sometimes from other rooms.
We're professional memesters.
This cool room, very, very cold in temperature.
Sponsored by Blizzard.
Overwatch.
Blizzard fan.
the little spinning fan. We sit around the table. We have some fun topics, usually nerdy in nature, movies, comics, games, you name it, whatever. And we try to have fun. We come to you on Mondays. 2 podcasting services of your choice. We're on Google Play, we're on iTunes, we're on SoundCloud. If there's ever a platform you would like us to be on that you would prefer, we'd love to hear. We'll try and get on there as well. Spotify thing's a little bit harder to get on.
Let's do it.
Let's send in the requirements. I'll call him up on the next episode. They can be our guest. Guys, how have you been?
It's funny that you bring up Blizzard.
I'm back.
I'm back.
In which way?
World of Warcraft.
So the guy that has your your help desk ticket, motherfucker.
And he's like, I took his sob story. I gave him a refund.
No, or he was probably like, yeah, motherfucker. Got him.
He's going to remember. He's like, after he cleared your ticket, he's like, don't worry, he'll be back.
Open, leaves it open.
It's got me grasped, dude. I wake up at 6 in the morning, do 2 hours worth of shit, go to work, come back, do
a
fucking
2 hours
8 hours.
Shit?
Worth of shit.
Okay, worth of shit. So, what's funny about this podcast is I never know which Vargas I'm going to get. The dives in Vargas or the...
Normally it's all a dive in. I feel like it's
I never know. Sometimes
I immerse myself.
Sometimes it's the cautionary tale.
So is this the cautionary tale?
I don't know yet. We got a full episode ahead of us.
No, I mean it's just I'm.
So you've been in World of Warcraft, the new expansion?
Yeah, man. 120. Did it in 2 days.
Woo! So you're already gonna get a refund now?
All right, I'm done, guys. Thanks for the new content. No, there's a lot to it. Obviously, so.
What brought you back?
Yeah, what
that
was it?
Is
what was the
question.
moment?
I think there's a accumulation of stuff. So my coworker obviously just jokes around. Like, even though I stopped playing, or like even before I played it, before I had stopped playing, I had more stuff done than he had done.
Right.
So like, I don't know. I guess it's a thing where like I got to do shit better than other people. I got to be a Bojan. Shout out to Bojan. I got to be number one.
Friend of the podcast.
And so he's like, I haven't gotten flying in like the current content, which was before this expansion. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I need like 2 more things. And he's like, no, you don't. Nah, you won't get it or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? And like, I picked it up, bought it. Or like, I paid like the subscription again, got back into it.
So nothing like, it was just a matter of like, I bet not, and then that it went away. It wasn't like a
no.
Am I going to jump back into this?
What happened is like, I mean, I was in it. Like as soon as I got back into it, I was like figuring out like what like the best route to get like the most I could get, and it's not easy to get flying. Like you have to get like there's reputation like with different factions. There's 4 different factions specifically. You have to get like revered, which is like the highest you can get, and it takes essentially like a good month and a half, 2 months to get like revered, because you're limited to how much you can do, not by limited by how much you can get, but like the content there is for a whole week. Okay. Like you can do the whole content, you got to wait until next week till it resets, right, and you can redo the whole content again. So that's what there's like a limit in that sense. And since I was so close, I managed to do it before the expansion came out. Okay. And then I was just like, dude, like I've caught up to everything. And at this point, I'm just playing like for no reason. I literally just play and I'm staying in the game and I'm just like, let me gather this stuff. Let me do this stuff. Like it's not anything that progresses me in like a story or anything because I've done all that. So I'm essentially done. and I'm not going to do any of the raids that requires way too much time and too many people to get together.
So I'm confused. It has you back or it had you back?
This was before, and so this is like I'm explaining how I quit just before I got back into it again.
So everything you've just said is where you left off.
Yeah, where I had left off. I was like, I can't, like, I was like, I'm going to do this all over again. I'm like, I can't do this. So I need to quit. And I think what happened was like, well, it was the biggest point was like coming back from the convention from Comic-Con, super dead tired. I was like, I should go immediately to sleep. And just logged on and started fucking doing nothing in the game, and it stayed away for like another 5 hours. Okay. And I was dead tired. Yeah. So I was like, this is dumb. Like, my life is going nowhere. I quit. And so I don't know, just new content.
Okay.
It's like my friend won't stop talking about it. So like it gets me in like my gears going.
Absolutely.
Apparently I watch streams of it. Like, subconsciously.
Because you after your conversation about how you stopped.
Yeah.
I saw the game coming out and I was like, I've never watched World of Warcraft streams or anything. I don't understand. I know what's going on, cooldowns and all these, but I don't know what's going on the screen. And I tried watching a few people and it looks like it's to me an amazing feat to have a game as old as this still be so relevant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where it's in the top 10 or 15 of those streams on Twitch, but it still just has such a strong base for the game.
So what grabs me for the game itself, it's the content it has. It has really good content. Like there's so the whole idea of this new one is it's an ancient, I wouldn't consider it ancient, but like they have multiple gods that they follow. They're called Loa. Or Loi. It's Loa. Loa. And there's like a god of death, a god of like power, like all these different ones. And one of the major key players is the god of death because within this new expansion, normally there used to be like a spirit guy over a grave. When you're dead, you're like semi-transparent, like a ghost.
I remember that.
And you can see the spirit healer. And if you talk to him, he's like, if you can't make it back to your body, I can revive you, but you will have a 30-minute debuff, and it literally like cuts everything by 50%. All your stats, all your health, everything. Like you can't do anything in 30 minutes, so you have to just like go away for 30 minutes. And in this expansion, it's that death god who's there, and he's like, "Hey, brother, it looks like you've lost your life." And you can either run back to your body or you can talk to him and he'll revive you and probably do. I haven't asked him to revive me, so he probably does the same thing. But within the story, since he's a death god, if like other key players die, generally like he's the one who's going to handle that death. So then you tend to bargain with him, or like at least these characters bargain with him. Okay. And obviously if you're bargaining with the god of death, you're probably going to get a bad deal out of it, Okay. So stuff like that happens, and you're just like, "Whoa!" Like that's crazy. And then there's even like a small story within it where you find a child's ghost, and she's like, "Where's my mommy?" And like you go around finding it, and just before like you're about to find the mom, like the death god, it's hard to pronounce his name. Bonswabdi is the death god's name, and he mentions like, "Oh, the little girl," and he's like, "Yeah, like I need it." He's like, "All right, go for it." And when you find the mom, I guess the mom made a deal with the death god to be immortal forever as long as the girl's dead, or like as long as she doesn't meet the girl, which is her daughter. Oh. And so when you bring it there, she's like, "Get this demon away from me! I made a deal with him!" Like, and so the death god's like laughing, like, "You fucked this up for her. Let me see this," and you end up having to kill her because she's trying to fight you, and you're just like, and then so they end up being together forever in death, and then it's like, but the mom killed the kid like shit. Damn. So it's like they do really good stuff like that.
Cool.
But then once I finish everything there, the content is like group content, like raiding, and that's not enjoyable because the content takes so long. Like in the beginning, especially now. You won't finish a raid in a day. Like it's going to take several days. It's
several sessions, right? Like
several sessions too. Like so.
I thought you meant like several days straight.
Things It could not like
It's not required to be
no.
straight.
You'll
Okay.
do like 2 hours today,
Okay.
2 hours tomorrow.
Sort of like I'm familiar with that in Destiny, where
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, okay, we're at a checkpoint.
yeah, you progress. But there's what's called weekly resets. So then the dungeon resets in a week. So if you don't beat it in a week, you start all over again.
Right.
And well, people do it that way too. Like they killed only the first few bosses. It's the easiest thing for them. And then they know they can't do the next boss, so they do that over and over until they're better geared.
Oh, okay.
And then they continue on or whatever.
Cool.
But that takes forever.
That takes some
It takes
time,
a good dedicated schedule,
Coordination.
coordination. I'm just not a fan of that.
You're
But-
playing solo.
Yeah, I'm a solo player pretty
Okay.
much. But right now, I mean, my old friends are
Are you
playing
and your
again.
coworker playing together or no?
Yeah, so I have a character on his server, but
Okay.
I have my original character who I got to 120 because he was already 110 from the
Right.
previous expansion. So I just needed 10 levels. But they do make it very difficult to level. So it does get hard for those 10 levels.
Okay.
And then I'm starting a new one on his server. So I have to go from... I'm doing a special character, so it starts at level 20, and I got to get to 120.
2 days tops.
But yeah, I'm back into that.
Okay.
So
You told me to remind you of
Yeah,
something
so-
regarding your Switch.
So I mentioned this before. I had bought a second
did
Switch.
the Death God
Yeah,
make a
and I had made a bargain. I had to make a bargain. So I had bought a second Switch because something funky was going on with my first Switch, and that something
Don't
funky
let your Switch hear this story.
that something funky reared its head up in this new Switch.
What?
And my first thought is like, okay, no one has reported this within my friends that have it, like Roberto, you, a couple buddies at work, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? What is the same thing on this
It's
Switch?
the same thing happened?
Yeah, it
Is it with
crashes.
that one game?
No, this was with Dead Cells now, and I think what's
Sherlock
happening.
Holmes it.
So I was like trying to figure out. I'm like, what is the same thing that this Switch has that the other one had? The memory card. I had bought a really cheap Chinese knockoff memory card. Like it has like the lettering isn't even the same size within a word. So I was like, it was 128, and I like put it in test not on the Switch, on somewhere else on the computer, and saw the size. I was like, I mean, it works fine. It reads it. Put it in the Switch, read it fine. But I think it might have like, I know with memory cards they can do like a weird loop thing where like a computer will read it to say that it has 128 gigs, but it's only like a certain amount.
Okay.
And it's only happened after I play a game for a certain amount of time. I don't know what the time is, but I feel like it's because it reaches that like that memory limit, and so it resets it. So like the game crashes, but it doesn't reset all the memory. So then from that point, it continues to crash after like 30 minutes of gameplay.
Did you do a test it with a different memory?
So I haven't done a full test, but I literally ended up getting another Samsung branded 128 gig memory card. Put everything into that memory card, and I plugged that in, and it played Dead Cells. It started Dead Cells, and that's it. And then it went back to playing World of Warcraft. But I think it's the memory
I'm glad
card.
you didn't have to buy another Switch yet.
And I think I can sell the first Switch with 100% confidence now, because it's the memory card and not the goddamn Switch itself. So now I'm not worried about it. I was worried about something like a damaged Switch to someone. But now that I know that this is the issue.
Innocent.
So
Cool.
that was the other thing,
That's an eventful week.
I guess.
Jake, what have you been up to?
Streaming
Yeah.
Dead Cells. Got to the last boss
Got wrecked.
and got destroyed.
Get wrecked, son.
And that was on my PC, not on my Switch. My Switch
Wait,
is far
PC?
behind.
I thought you were doing it on PS4.
no,
And Switch.
PC.
Oh, okay, PC and Switch.
Yeah,
Okay.
PC's the only
Oh,
one.
right, because of the Twitch,
Twitch.
thing.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And
sorry.
it's harder on PC with the Twitch thing because there's modifiers. There's no modifiers here. God.
Pure.
Well, it's random on here, but it's not as bad. Like it's more frequent, and especially if you have like a group that's like,
It's
I want to
not-
mess this like.
I mean, even if like there isn't a group, it's gonna pick a bad modifier.
random.
There's never a good
Oh.
modifier. It's rarely there's a good modifier.
you go on there. Oh, one, choose a good one.
Oh my god. I'm playing VR chat. I went to the dark web. Wow.
Did they show you the way?
Oh my god. So I guess I'm the expert of hentai. That's some guy who kept on following. Yeah, Uganda Knuckles was following me. He's like, "Oh, hentai, hentai, like, get away from me!" But I am.
You should have been like Kojima hentai.
I'm like a chicken Gandalf. That's my character.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool.
I don't. That's
Oh,
interesting.
the old architect, a year older, less wiser.
A year
but we're
wiser.
getting better at Fortnite.
A year
the
older,
old-
indeed.
You
The
gotta
old-
go. You gotta go back to VR chat. The furry.
So I met a furry, right? And the person was not talking,
Did
but
you
I could
two
tell.
find love? Oh, okay.
But he or she was not talking, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to this guy on stream. It's like, hey, I have a friend named Kurosh. He loves furries. And the guy's like,
Put it in a
he
good
just
word for
started
you.
like waving.
They're ready to integrate with you.
No.
dude.
They're ready. They're ready.
They're
dude.
ready, dude.
One of us. One of
One
us.
of us.
But
One of us.
oh, also like, so the community in VR chat is pretty small.
Yeah.
So I was talking to some chick, and she was like asking where I lived, and I was like California, and then she went more specific, like more specific, and I was like, no, I can't say, I'm streaming, and so like I left. We talked some while, and then I left, and then I came back, and then people were like, some guy was like, oh, you're the guy that broadcasts on YouTube. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I even clipped it. I was like, wait, how does he know I broadcast on YouTube? So I guess they like talked amongst each other. And,
And they're like, this guy streams.
Scary-
This chicken
that's some
Gandalf.
scary
Yeah,
shit.
This
dude.
chicken Gandalf
but
streams.
like, I recognize people. Like, not a lot of people use VR chat. And I just.
But I
recognize-
think being more like having more to that information, it's a smaller community because it was a specific community of Koreans.
Right,
I
right.
think is why that information spread more than it did normally.
I found out that Fortnite in Korea is not
Huge?
looked highly upon.
Why?
They say it's a casual game, and I was talking to the guy. He's like PUBG is a lot more popular. And I was like,
I'm assuming graphics probably.
I told him like I agree with you, as in like there's more casual players probably playing in Fortnite, but the skill cap in Fortnite is a lot
Higher.
like it's harder. It's a harder game.
Yeah,
And
because
he's
there's
like-
more to
he's like, oh.
master.
Yeah, the whole building thing, like that just. But I do agree with them. Yeah, there are casual gamers. Like PUBG is probably all hardcore people right now.
I think the fact that it's a little bit more visibly seen, like people are playing on their phones, people are playing. So because of that larger audience,
It's
you're getting
casual.
larger groups of children and of all ages. Whereas I'd imagine PUBG is a little bit tighter,
And-
comparatively.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter World's really popular in Korea.
Dude, they did that World Championships, and like
It was Koreans?
there was some interviews of like how people got the best times. Like if you're not using Switch X, you're not gonna. Or like some people were like we felt more confident with our lances, even though we knew Switch Axes would get better times,
Yeah.
potentially, and they did respectable. They were like top 3, but that was because they were so well versed with the weapons they were using. So I was curious. I was like, I wonder how much more potential that has for a competitive like
A lot.
trial scene.
A lot.
You know how? More money from last week's topic. Esports. It's in the game.
You mentioned another year older, and I
Oh no.
I thought of something.
You're another year.
I'm old,
into
dude.
Destiny.
Happy
Oh,
birthday.
Christmas. I like it. Thank you.
It's a repurposed like gift card or like
Merry
the
Christmas.
greetings card.
I have this.
I have the gift receipt in case you
Okay,
need
cool. I have this, but thank you.
What you bought the
thought that-
set,
Dude.
but you haven't even watched them.
it. It's season 1.
I know.
I wanted you to remember where we started.
And where we haven't finished.
Represent always.
Ravenclaw.
See me in VR chat with all the furries.
In the Ravenclaw house.
Thank you. A year older, but we're getting faster at building Fortnite.
I was impressed, dude. Did you see the video
I haven't watched it yet.
on his Facebook? He has a one where he's just like I don't know what your
So I do
thing
this.
was.
So the reason how I learned how to build, I do this thing where, if it's like the beginning battle, it's okay to fight underground. Now I don't do that. Like I will only shoot if I have higher ground. That's my rule.
That's a really good one.
So like that's how I just started learning how to build. It was just like, oh,
That's really good.
I will
should do
only
that.
shoot until
cool.
I'm at a higher.
You should
progressive.
become a teacher, dude. Like a Fortnite like kids should pay you for you to teach them.
I had to change my bindings. It's not good. But
So it's like a Obi-Wan Kenobi style.
It's a puzzle
high
game.
ground.
I think dude, I argue that building in Fortnite is a puzzle. If someone has high ground, you have to counter build it, and you have to think.
It's checkers. Huh?
Yeah.
Do you know what would
Or
be cool?
chess.
I think it might be too much, but if they could partner with Valve and somehow get like
Never
a
release Fortnite
novelty
2.
of having a portal gun in the game at some point, imagine that you're building.
It would have to be like the Thanos thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining. I'm
An
like, it would
event
be a
for
gimmick.
fucking week, but
But
it'd be
imagine that.
amazing.
Like you're just like,
You know what'd be cool? You know how they have the rifts, the one-time rift. That would be kind of cool, like a support item.
a toss.
And then I mean, people can use it too.
Well, I
'cause-
heard that they're making usable rifts now. You can have like pocket rifts.
Oh,
I didn't
stole
hear
the
that.
idea. Dude.
I saw it like today.
There's
or
a new
yesterday.
item that came out
Yeah.
today. I didn't know what.
And it
was.
might be the portal thing, but I was just imagining the effects of portal where it's like I put one end on the ground, I build, and then I drop them and just shoot
That'd
out.
be crazy.
So the theme of this season is like time rifts because there was
Yeah.
like a spaceship that like
Yeah.
broke through time or whatever. Now it's causing like the
A
time to
schism
mess
and
up.
stuff.
Yeah. So one of the new things they added is like there will be random like rifts in like the area, and if you jump into it, it literally spawns you directly in that same area all the way to the top, and you just drop like flying with your parachute again. So it lets you like either escape or get somewhere quicker.
Yeah.
And he's referring to having a portable version, and then you're bringing it up. So that seems pretty cool.
Are you guys gonna buy Monster Hunter Double X?
I already pre-ordered it. I
don't
miss
think so.
Because I might play it on the flight.
the 28th.
Wait, it comes out that weekend, right?
It comes out the 28th.
Oh shit!
And we leave the 28th.
No, we leave the 30th.
Oh, so it'll be out for 2 days.
And our friend Cholo said it's already into the store near him.
A physical one though. I would
I
probably.
know.
get-
I
I
got
wanted-
I got the digital one.
I want
but
the digital
The
one.
thing about so you mentioned that I was excited when I saw it because it's back to the old. Like I miss I love the
I'm-
new one, but I miss some of the old stuff.
I'm worried about like
The quality.
on the Switch. Like I'm gonna break the Switch, dude.
Really?
I'm
We
break.
played 3DS.
Use a pro
I'm-
controller.
I'm break the Switch. Like crab
Nah,
hold
use
on
the
the
pro-
Switch.
It's not gonna crap hold.
It's gonna be a crab hold on the Switch.
This isn't the Vita.
I'm a crab.
It has
dude.
that.
It's got two actually.
It has the targeting, dude.
It's
You don't
got
have-
two.
You don't have. To.
I'm gonna
just
break
the
shit,
thing.
dude.
I maybe not in our circle because I don't know how many people besides like, maybe one or two outside of us have Switches, but I miss having that like, hey, let's play like on the plane or in a hotel room or whatever. I remember being in Vegas with friends and we were waiting for one of our friends to like sober up. And we're like,
I'm
"Let's-"
buying it.
Huh?
I'm sold. Because we could wait in PAX and just play.
That's another thing too. Is like the way like we became friends is through Monster Hunter.
I miss them.
We would hang out at.
I mean, that's how I
Sonic's.
met Karosh. Monster Hunter meetup.
Dang, that's how we met. We all met.
If it
through
wasn't
Monster
for
Hunter.
Monster Hunter,
I guess
Portable.
I gotta
this
get
wouldn't
it.
have been made.
I guess I gotta get it.
And I didn't. So the other aspect of it that is exciting for me is I never really fully committed to the 3DS generations. I remember for Ultimate, I was deep into that, and then
So
Generations came out. I remember the meetups were huge. Everyone was coming. Everyone was playing. I was more like making sure everyone was playing, doing kind of just talking. I like that part, but I was like falling behind on the game. I'm like, whatever. And then it just died. Like everyone just like, all right, we did everything. And I'm like, oh fuck,
Clarence is dead.
Clarence was dead. Rip. But just seeing like, I love World. I love what it's done for the franchise. Made it so widely like renowned, the biggest Capcom thing. But I love that the Switch is getting some love. So I'm excited for that.
God damn it! And
I'm
there's
gonna buy
some
it.
sick ass monsters.
Just make sure your memory card's good.
There's sick ass monsters.
Yeah, we don't have Zenogre, Rajang.
Oh,
But then there's like new ones.
Yeah,
too.
the new ones too. The four
Yeah.
ones. The laser jet, the blue eyes
There's
white
monsters
dragon.
we've never seen.
yeah, yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Fuck.
Glavinus
Well, do you know
too?
how the end game is like?
It's
not.
G-rank.
But I mean, is there like relic weapons or no? Probably not.
I think it was whatever Generations was, which I never really fully went. Which was like you level up. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Like
It was
up
like
to 140.
You would have like
But did it have relic
not
weapons?
the
That's for
guild
you.
quest. I'm talking about like you would have a Glavinus quest, and it was a level 1, and you would keep fighting it till it was like a level 10
the
quest.
Hell, Azurathalos, and
Oh,
Dread Queen.
But there was
Dread
also
King.
the styles. There was aerial style. There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
The thing is, like, I like challenges, but then
But then what?
they got like, I never got to that, like
For Ultimate was for me.
I couldn't
the pinnacle.
master that challenge. And then what's funny is I had that idea, like I had that like mindset when it came to Behemoth. I was like, this is a challenge. This is a challenge that I have to overcome on my own. Like I want to do solo. And I honestly I put a dent and that's it. Like, but the dent, like I realized like how small the dent was when like when I was talking to Keith, shout out to Keith, he was like, yeah, there's three more, or there's a total of 3 comics that he drops, and in solo, I never even got to the first one. Like I could make him move to a different zone, but in that zone, he drops so many whirlwind things. I'm like, I can't do anything. I'm constantly just dodging. I'm not even doing damage.
I feel like it's like any other Monster Hunter. You hit that wall, and it's insurmountable. But like once it clicks,
yeah.
Then it's just a matter of like time and stamina.
So I've seen people use flash bombs and it stops him from casting the thing. But I can hold 3 and then obviously some more bugs to make them. But I'm like that he does it so often in that other area. It's like it's not gonna work. And I don't know what it is. Maybe like you have to do enough damage like to make him stop him from casting. But once it starts, he casts it like 3 times in a row, doesn't attack. 3 more times, doesn't attack. 3 more, and then all of a sudden, like that zone is fucked, and you can't. And I was like, I quit.
I miss the when I saw like people streaming Japanese versions of it. I was like, man, I miss this. Like that look. It's like,
and there is a zone too that I was familiar with. It was a Xenogra, like it jumped, and he just like looks up and it looks funny. But I was like, that zone, I remember that zone. Fighting a buffalo or bullfalo.
Yeah.
Or Fango. There you go.
So for me, this past weekend, SummerSlam happened. WWE, big. Like there's 4 major WWE pay-per-views. There's WrestleMania, which is like the Super Bowl. There's Royal Rumble, which is the second biggest, and then there's 2 other ones. There's Survivor Series and there's SummerSlam. They're not the biggest, but they kind of have like they try to build towards them. And SummerSlam, I was watching with my girlfriend and one of my friends, Chris, and we were just making kind of like a fun day out of it, like a lazy Sunday sort of thing. But the matches were pretty entertaining. Like some guys came back. It was fun to watch. I still, like after our conversation last week about Japanese pro wrestling, I've just been in this mindset where this past year, Japanese pro wrestling has really clicked with me. Like I follow the storylines, I know where they're progressing, where each character, and I have a really full understanding of not just one person but several. That when I'm looking at the breadth of WWE, it's like Fortnite, where it's much larger. It's appealing to a wider audience, but the part I care about isn't as satisfying, aside from like 1 or 2 matches. So. That was. It's still fun. It's just like nostalgia.
I feel like the quality of matches after you guys like, and then you showed us the Twitter videos of like those scenes that he was talking about.
It's different. Like someone was describing it as like WWE doesn't have the best. Like when it's a championship match in any other thing, it's always the best versus the best, and you get a quality match. In WWE, that's not the case. You could have like a gimmick be the reason in which there's a championship match, or you could have like some cheesy factor or something.
This might be like super stereotypical. I feel like Japanese wrestling, it's more like when people hate each other, there's like still a respect.
Yeah.
Like in American wrestling, there's no respect. Well,
yeah,
I mean, depends
I
if
think
they hate
they
each
play
other.
it up a little bit more sinisterly, like I'm pure evil, you're pure good, that sort of thing. But it's been weird lately because the people that are being pushed like by the company as the good guys, in my eyes, are doing the most bully things possible. Like Ronda Rousey, 7 months ago, she came into WWE, and she's been like, they keep saying like she's not gotten the opportunity to get the title, and she finally got an opportunity, and she ragdolled the other person, but it didn't look like she was like the hero of the story. It didn't look like, I was like, you just dominate, like you're like a Brock Lesnar, you're just like fucking mean. Which is fine, like if that's her character, but they're trying to paint it as if she's the hero, the one to save us, and then she just goes around breaking random people's arms. I'm like, that feels very, and they're like doing anti-bullying in the commercial. I'm like, I don't know, like I'm getting cross signals. Whereas right now there's another girl who's fought hard ever since she's lost the title to get another opportunity.
Yeah.
And every time some evil person has been like, I'm going to like get you at the last minute or screw you out or this or that. And she built up to this comeback, and it's like this build up is like, okay, you earned your shot now. 1-on-1, nothing's going to get in the way. And then her best friend, which was Ric Flair's daughter, jumps in the match. She's like, I'm going to be in this too. Triple threat. Whoever wins, wins. And she ended up winning. And then she's like, all right, I respect you and you're my friend. And then she just was like, fuck you. Like, that was my shot and you put yourself in there for what? Like, I deserved that opportunity. And you just walked in there. And people were cheering for her when she did that. She's like,
for the girl that had built up to that point.
yeah, and because they were like, she got screwed.
Yeah,
like,
because she's got a story. It's like I've worked hard, and all of a sudden someone just jumps in that same spot with me, and they win it.
But they're trying to paint her as if she's turning into a bad guy as a result of it. But all of her arguments on the screen explaining, I'm like, you're justifying why I want to support you.
I feel like they do this shit all the time because they have what's the other guy? The guy who they're always trying to put up number one.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And you're like, and everyone's like, boo! And they're like, no, yeah.
They really tricked people this
Oh
time
my
because they
God,
knew
man.
it was coming.
Oh,
So they have the match, Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, and everyone going into the match. It's in Brooklyn, so it's a very rowdy crowd. People are booing the fuck out of it. It's like, neither of you matter. They were like chanting like, you both suck. You both, like, all this stuff. So what they did was people knew that this other guy, Braun Strowman, huge guy, sort of like a Big Show guy, is has a Money in the Bank, which means he could cash in. And they wanted that. They were cheering. They were hoping for that. They've been building him as like a good guy but a badass. They brought him out right when the match started, and what he did was he came out, he took the mic, he's like, guys, I'm not going to be like any of those pansy-ass Money in the Bank holders. I'm going to be waiting for whoever wins, and I'm going to face the winner. Because I'm a man, I'm going to face you head on. And so that got people cheering at the start of the match, knowing that he's going to come at the end. But then they swerved everyone towards the late end of the match. They were pissed off at him. They like bumped shoulders with that guy like Lesnar did, and he took out all his anger. He wasn't in the match, so they were chair shotting him and essentially prevented Braun Strowman from cashing in.
Yeah.
So he never cashed in, but it got people to cheer long enough during the pay-per-view.
Oh my God!
To
make
not
it look
booing the main event.
These guys are geniuses,
and then they ended the
dude.
match, and then they cut.
So I'd be over here watching the broadcast of it and be like, "Fuck, people are really liking this fight right now." When in reality, they're hoping that the next fight's gonna be.
Got him.
I was like,
Oh
that's
gosh,
impressive
dude.
on a switch bait, but that's devious. I was like,
I don't know. It's weird. Like they don't give what people want, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
yeah, like the other one right now is Daniel Bryan and The Miz. They hate each other. One is like a showboating asshole, smartass over the years. And the other one is an actual pro wrestler, technical and all this stuff. And over the years, The Miz has always been the clear bad guy. But now that Miz has been in the company for 10 plus years, he's worked. He's done many things. He had a promo where he's like, you're calling me a coward? And he just went off what felt like off script.
Yeah. But it was like very good, though.
It was very good.
Yeah.
And they're still pushing Daniel Bryan as like I'm the hero.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm kind of rooting for The Miz because I feel like he's worked his ass off to stop being that slimy dickbag.
He worked, dude. I just remember him from Real Worlds, and that was his dream. He's like, I just want to be a pro wrestler in the show. And
Like there was a story about him recently where a lot of the wrestlers had an after party, I guess, a few years ago, and none of the technical crew, like the people that built the sets and those backstage people, he took all of them and took them to his own party, and he's like, I'm buying drinks and food for all you guys.
That's cool.
I was like, this guy, like, I feel like that. I don't know, like everything that's made apparent. I'm like, you're in my eye, like, you got to be aware of what people are saying. I don't know. Anyway, so that was wrestling. Then the other aspect of my last week has been just Destiny. If you can see my shirt, it's my last one in the charts. I completed my Titan character. I did everything for that guy.
2 shirts.
And I'm like,
did he give you another one?
2 shirts.
No. If I played on PC,
They should do that. They should have done 3 total. Like people that were dedicated get like a specific color. Like obviously, like
You
the
get a
Warlock.
Letterman.
yeah.
Ooh.
But now, like, it's like dangling in front of me. Like, do the third character because there's a special ship you get if you do all 3 characters.
Oh my God. You're telling me this now? I got until the 28th, bro.
There's no.
You're not
I'm
doing
not doing it. It was. I wanted to do it because I was like, when I finished doing it with my
How
Titan.
cool is that ship?
Huh?
How cool is that ship?
It's all right. I started looking at it. I'm like, do I really want this ship? I'm like, whatever.
You kind of do.
No,
You
because
kinda
the
do.
thing with the Hunter, my third character, is I still like the other two. I
you're
could just
so
pick
far
up.
behind, yeah.
I have to finish the story and then do that. And I'm like, nah, I fuck no. Like, nope.
Nah.
But it's fun. So I did that, and then I was playing some before coming here, just because I was like, it's good. Forsaken's about to come out. Like literally after PAX, it's right into Forsaken, which is the next DLC.
Hopefully we get like a free expansion key and I can just play.
They'll probably have it available to play there.
I'm hoping to get it for free.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna pick it up. By the way, sorry.
I'm talking to the wrong Daniel right now. I need to be talking to the other Daniel.
Well, the problem
The
is
one that is going to be tired of playing World of Warcraft in a week. And then he's like, I need a new game. And you're like, I'm prestiging.
it'll
3
eventually
characters
happen.
with-
Like at this moment, this Daniel's like, I'm confident this game is my life. But eventually, like you're like, I don't want this life.
I know.
I gotta get out of this life.
I know, because right now you got Warcraft. Spider-Man will come around, and I don't know how you'll feel about that. So you may or may not play that.
I'm.
Then Red Dead's going to be looming. So whether you want to jump into Forsaken before then, just to kill some time, or you'll play Red Dead, and then when that's over, you're like, I need something.
Another thing too is I think it's next week that it happens, but Prime is not doing 20% discounted pre-orders.
Yeah. If you have a certain Prime membership, because they're saying like, there's no. Sorry, I'm mixing things up. They said because another thing they're doing with the Prime membership is they're getting rid of ad free on Twitch.
Yeah.
But that was the one I was thinking of, where as long as you had an older subscription, you still get the ad free until your renewal date.
So I guess there's protesting on Twitch itself. Like they're removing their ads like streamers are, so that no one gets ads. And they're like, this is the dumbest thing because we make more money through this subscription.
Yeah.
And if you guys are
taking that
off, like there's no point.
Yeah.
So,
that's a topic for another day. But
possibly.
it's an interesting thing.
Possibly.
Let's get into the topics for this show.
Sure.
Let's start with mine.
If you want to, I guess take the show, man.
Take the show right by the straddle.
And switches. Money in the bank, but not doing it.
Good switch made him. No, since I mentioned PAX a little bit, let's talk about PAX. We're about to get going there. I think this time next week we'll be.
Think?
I mean, you never know.
We'll be on a plane.
So I want to know, like.
Actually, this time next week we'll be already in Seattle. Had already enjoyed some time. Oh no, we leave.
We'll
Thursday.
be sleeping before, like it'll be the night before our flight.
That's right.
That's
right. I'd be waking up already to fly out.
Yeah. And I want to get an idea of like what do you guys have, sort of like our Comic-Con pre-discussion. It was like, what do you guys hope to see or do or be a part of, both with PAX and also with, I don't know if you guys have been to Seattle before, but with Seattle as well. Like whatever you want.
I'll start. So I haven't been to Seattle in a sense of like in the city to tour it. I've been to Seattle as a flyover. What is it called? Stopover. Layover. And then I also drove through it to go to Canada, but I never stopped and really like enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And my most enjoyed time was the layover because it was raining, really nice cloudy day, and like the airport has like a glass dome, and you can it looks like you're standing outside without getting wet, and it's amazing feeling. I love the rain. So that was really cool. But I talked to a coworker. He travels a lot for work. He's done a lot of shows in Seattle and in Washington specifically. And I asked him like, what should I do in Seattle, Washington? He's like, eat sushi at the Pike. He's like, you got to eat sushi because he says it's so like they have sushi that's taken out exactly from that area.
Right.
So it's like very, very fresh.
Ooh.
He's like, I recommend doing that.
Did you recommend any specific spot there?
He didn't recommend a specific spot. He just said on the Pike, any sushi.
Okay.
That was like he was like, and like a minute later he was like, do this.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm excited to hang out with you guys. I'm excited to do the events outside of the convention there. that we're planning on doing.
So-
It was like the Microsoft.
Have you looked into any of the they have the schedule of things, the layout of stuff? Did you have anything in mind specifically, or you just want to like roam?
I'm gonna roam and then follow your guys' guidance.
Okay.
Tourist stuff. Visit the first Starbucks. Eat clam chowder at the Pike
In a
and
bowl.
sushi.
In a bread bowl.
Eat a 12 egg omelet.
Oh, that's right. That's just
Sometime-
not gonna be an enjoyable.
That's a
day.
24-hour restaurant, so
That's
we
just
can.
not gonna be
we
an
can do it.
enjoyable day, dude.
I do want to
Or
go to.
night.
I want to go to an after party, but I'm not sure which after parties are available.
Greg
I haven't looked
Miller's.
into it. Like
The
on a
one
Saturday.
I wanted to go to was on the day we're leaving, and it's that game, The Messenger. They're doing an after party for that
Wait, it's at night.
on Sunday. Our flight.
Oh,
is,
the day we leave.
is
Sorry.
our
I thought
flight
when you said leave, I thought you meant here.
Oh no.
Leave from here.
I'm excited for Microsoft. I just want to go to the campus. It's kind of cool.
And meet Dead Cell.
Yeah, hopefully the Dead Cell developers are there. Play Tunic at the Microsoft thing because that's playable.
I'd be at PAX too.
Dude, Tunic on the on Switch.
Oh,
Oh
Bring
my
it over.
God, dude, they need
Bring
that.
everything to.
Dude, we were talking about this. Like,
You mentioned Blizzard. I thought you were going to talk about Diablo 3 on the Switch.
oh no,
Ooh.
Diablo, that's the past life right there. guys.
For now.
Only on the bright future of World of
I
Warcraft.
can't wait to meet that Daniel.
I feel like I have
Is
multiple
Shadows Die?
personalities.
Shadows Die Twice gonna be playable?
Maybe?
I have no
I don't.
clue.
I'd say it's at Gamescom right now, and
yeah,
it's playable.
and it has
there.
a really like good demo.
So
If it's playable, I want to play that.
it's gonna be a long line.
Yeah, I know. And
Are you
Devil May Cry 5, I think, is gonna be there. That's gonna be a long line.
motorcycle?
I
fights?
want to go to the Fortnite thing.
So just a heads up, depending on how long lines are, I might not do lines because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be here. This is obviously like a 1 week, like a 3-day weekend for me, and I'm not gonna like have flown to Washington to wait 5
I
hours in
agree.
line.
But there's always that line trick. Like, there's something that you want to go to that will have a long line, so you run to it first. What would you run to? I would say Fortnite. I do want to go to. Damn it!
I don't know, honestly.
I want to run to the Fortnite thing.
Build a
Not
Yeah,
the
you gotta
not
build
the,
there,
build
bro.
to get there.
not the tournament, but like
the mini golf thing.
Yeah, the mini golf thing.
See, I'm of the mind of the first day. I want to see how it looks, and then the next day, or the Sunday maybe even.
I feel like Friday is like that dead day.
Really?
So that's the day you want to.
I think Monday's the dead day.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Because I think a lot of people are going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But yeah,
That is
Friday
true.
and Saturday are like many other conventions are the.
It's gonna be open on Monday.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's got a Monday. 'Cause it's Labor Day weekend.
There's a
The reason to close it.
there's an open tournament for Fortnite. $1.5 million.
Just
Prize.
So do you think Ninja's going to
Just join.
I don't know. It's
And
open,
that's where you
so
wreck-
that sucks. They shouldn't. Pros should not be able to play, dude. It's just unfair. It's super unfair. Daquan.
Honestly, to make it fair, I think it's not fair to stop certain people from playing. Like, I think they should have 2 tournaments. They should have a fully open one. Anyone, including pros, can play.
Mhm.
Then they got an amateurs, and this is
Mhm.
where like no
Mhm.
pros, no like obviously anyone
I
that you
agree.
know. But like I feel like people that aren't famous but are really good obviously can
Yeah.
sneak in, and there's no way to find out.
Yeah, I think
Right.
it's
Like only the
interesting
Right.
yeah.
system. Okay, so
And indie
sleepers.
games. That
My
gun.
name
That
is
gun one.
Pedro.
Yeah, that one. That one and
Yeah.
the Messenger. Since you mentioned
and
it,
Tunic too.
I do want to.
have you
Isn't-
heard more about Messenger?
I haven't.
No.
So the game, it's like you're in a you're part of a ninja clan, and you're messenger. You got to
Sold.
scroll or something,
Ninjas.
and it's in a lot of the gameplay is in homage to the original Ninja Gaiden.
Oh.
And they actually asked them like, "Can we get your blessing on this game? We don't want you to think we're ripping off." They end up doing something where there's like a time travel element, and so you go through
It's the
portals or
old-
rifts, and you go between 8-bit and 16-bit levels.
Oh my god.
And like the mechanics reminded me also a little bit of like what I've seen of Celeste. So like the way you jump around through sections and stuff. I was like, I think this is like I could see a lot of things you guys would like. So I was like,
When does it come out?
Never.
end of this month.
Oh,
or
shit.
beginning of September.
Dude, just too many
That's
games.
soon.
I
There's
think.
too many games.
That's
coming.
that's a
Because I
small
also
game,
pre-ordered
though.
that as well.
That's a small game though. Is that on?
Switch.
Woo!
It's on my Switch right now. It's preloaded.
Play it, dude.
I can't.
Just go to that store. Dude. I probably have it.
It might be just digital only.
Yeah,
But-
I think you're right.
I think that's it for me.
Okay.
And then here we got the full details
Bungie.
list.
Bungie headquarters.
Like it just rolls all
So
the way out.
first of all, we're going to merch. Spend all of Friday there.
I want Fortnite merch though.
Yeah.
I do want
Is it gonna be there? Like
Yeah.
like official?
official.
Because I know they
Fort-
have like at least like
bootleg ones.
the
I
other
know.
ones. Yeah, they have bootleg.
So Thursday the convention's not open. Thursday we land in the morning, so
Yes.
we have that day sort of to be like parties and or city life.
yeah, do that. I would like to do a lot of the city stuff that day.
I'd love
Mhm.
to do that, and
That-
I
just
think,
get out of the
and
way.
we're gonna be like, there's no need for a car for any reason, for at least for the stuff that you guys have said and what I was thinking of as well, because the airport there's a monorail for like $5 or $10, I forget, it's under $20,
Yeah.
and it just takes you right into the middle of downtown, and it's like a 10-minute walk from there to our hotel,
Mhm.
and then from there everything's walking distance. My friend Sam, he recommended a place that I really think you guys would also like.
18-egg omelet.
No.
In addition to that, he says every
Cheese.
time he goes to Seattle,
Queso.
he goes to this mac and cheese place.
Oh, that's right.
It's called Beecher's Handmade Cheese. They make the cheese there, so I found it. It's right in the Pike. And they have like a mac and cheese. He's like, it is the best mac and cheese he's had.
The cat heavy breathing.
breathing intensifies.
So I think I owe it to him for the recommendation to. I want to give it a try because
Yeah, I'm
we're
down.
gonna be in the Pike. I figured
you also need to buy one and save
So
it
mac and
to
cheese.
send it to him.
it's gonna travel in the air.
So we got mac and cheese, sushi, and clam chowder. That's the
Great
meal.
combination. All in
Staple.
one day.
Dibs on the bathroom first. So that's one little thing I wanted to try it. The Pike, I just like that area to walk around. So I'm hoping weather.
It's a Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, Pokemon in general, guys. I've been looking into stuff. I've heard at other PAX, like in Boston, they had unknowns, which are certain Pokemon that
Yeah.
are shaped in letters that show up around the area. So I'm like, I'm
Gonna spell out PAX West.
gonna be playing some Pokemon if that's the case. In general, I like playing Pokemon in other cities to have some. It's like a souvenir to me.
I feel though, like by now though, with like when there's multiple events and you can go to all of them and they have like these unknowns, can't you just now spell out your own freaking words with them now? Or
Yeah, there's 26 letters.
Yeah.
You can like I've been to Comic-Con, they've had them. They had one in LA. They had one at
but
Long Beach.
like they don't have all of them. Like literally, like if they're at PAX West and they have the event for PAX West, they're only gonna have the letter PAX.
Yeah, something
and then
like that.
WE.
Like right now at Gamescom, they have all the letters that spell Gamescom.
Okay,
there.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Like no
At
other
E3, they only had enough for like Expo
Mm.
and an exclamation,
Yeah.
or I don't know, like little things like that, and then it gets people incentivized.
level. And you don't
with-
have all 26.
No, God no. I have maybe 10 at the most.
Okay.
But it's fun because I also like catching them to bring back to give like
I'm just-
trade some to my
I'm
friends.
just worried about Z. Like where the fuck do you get Z from?
I think in Japan they had it available, or in Europe,
Jeez.
like Zurich.
Two of not the places
Oh,
I'm
no,
at.
it's in Switzerland. Anyway, they have a regional events in other countries. So yeah, there's Pokemon Go, which I'll just be doing passively.
Yeah.
Probably like when it's nighttime and like if we're just walking around.
I think you'll be alive passively and be playing Pokemon Go actively.
The other thing was I was looking through the forums and through the schedule and all these other things just to get an idea of, like, you mentioned after parties, but also just anything else that's going on. And I saw a forum post in PAX saying Pokemon gym leaders are going to be there. And I was like, what does that mean? So clicked it. They're like, hey, if you're playing Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, which are the latest 3DS games, and you spot anyone with a green scarf with like Pokemon or
You can
anything on it,
challenge them.
they're gym leaders, and you are within reason allowed to challenge them. And if you beat them, you get a gym badge, as if they're like.
And it's a cool. I'm assuming like a cool.
It's a pin of some sort. Yeah,
Okay.
I think. I don't know other than that, but it's like, yeah, these are the allowed Pokemon you can use. I haven't
Oh
beaten.
shit.
I haven't beaten Ultra Moon, and so now that I've beaten Destiny, I was like, I got a week to beat Ultra
Fuck.
Moon.
I mean,
Fudge.
I can do that shit in a day. So
Ultra Moon?
I mean, not beat it. I can get
But you got to train
a good
'em.
enough team to probably fight someone.
Yeah, if I can get to a point where I've beaten the story and have just Pokemon that I think are
Right.
strong. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through that story part so I can do those things because it's been a while since I played a 3DS Pokemon game, so I'm like, all right, this is my mission now. I got a week. So those are the Pokemon stuff. And then the events. So I've never been to a gaming panel. I've always been to like comic panels. I've been to cosplay panels. I don't know, like panels that never have to do with like a game design. I think Monster Hunter was the only time I went to a panel for a game. And I saw some panels this year for PAX that I was like, wow, like if this is how game panels are, I think this is really cool. What did I have? So some of them, I don't think there's an opportunity to see all of them because some of them conflict.
Mhm.
But some of them were like game design theory. What makes Battle Royale so popular? Another one was like the quest for the perfect Superman game. So they have Greg Miller, kind of funny. I was like, that's another incentive
Superman
because he's
65.
passionate about.
I'll only
Superman.
go if he's wearing that Spider-Man suit.
He's gonna be having that all weekend.
That sexy bastard.
And then the guy that's in charge of the God of War right now, he's also going to be a part of that panel. So I'm like,
Oh.
okay, there could be an interesting dialogue here. Another one is the psychology of the Legend of Zelda franchise, and it has actual psychologists and game experts discussing like the merits and the symbolisms within the game, like the chase for the princess, the balance of what the Triforce means and what that may originate from. I was like, I've never heard of a topic like that. Speedrunners talking about the methodology and the mindset of what it takes to be a speedrunner in gaming. This one was similar to one of our topics for the episode 69, Sexy or Stupid, the great video game sex scene debate. And they talk about
I
like
feel like you brought that one up.
I mentioned it,
already.
I think. And I think other than that,
The YouTube one interests me.
yeah, that one was cool. Another one was Why We Love Apocalypse. Like, why is there such an appeal for that? It's like dystopian, apocalyptic genre.
I know Brian K. Vaughan's answer to that.
Yeah?
He said that we secretly want it to happen.
Oh.
That's what he said. His Why the Last Man. He's like, we secretly want it to happen.
And then there's some tournaments that I was like, I either want to watch or see if I could be a part of. One of them was Puyo Puyo Tetris. And the other one that I'd want to watch was the Monster Hunter Generations on the 3DS. I don't know.
Also, us, we're playing Fortnite with
Mini golf.
someone. GM.
Oh. Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's might be happening. I don't know. No, we tried. I think that's the one we're still gonna do, right? The
Yeah.
miniature golf. So yeah, there's a wide variety. I'm like, okay. Aside from us walking the floor and checking shit out, I want to see if those are easy to get into. I don't know if it's like a Comic-Con level where it's like wait forever. I'm of the mindset like you where I don't want to wait, and like the most I'll wait for anything is about an hour at the most. I've had good success when I follow that rule,
No lines.
but I don't see myself even going for like a line that long at all. Hopefully, because like the stuff I want to do, like I know there's like the Bungie stuff. I'll probably want to go to the merch for Bungie, which I don't think there'll be a line. There might be. I don't know. But
Sell that shirt. I'll be like, fuck it, yeah, dude. Don't even have to wait. Or I mean, don't even have to do the
I'll
thing.
be like motherfuckers. Some other merch stuff. I'll probably like look for pins and little things. I know there's a lot of tabletop stuff I want to check out. Board games. I know they have that stuff. The indie stuff. That one is like where there's almost no line at all.
That's cool.
Where you just go try someone's new game and then you'll see it like in a year maybe. Where it's like, oh shit, have you guys seen this game?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Dead Cells.
that's cool. Yeah, stuff like that. Like Wargroove, I'm sure is going to be there. It's like this Advanced Wars style game
Oh, no.
that they've been talking about for the Switch. It's still being worked on.
Is that the one that we got the flyer for? And I think it was like PlayStation.
No. That was a different one.
Oh no, yeah, that one had already.
That was like
released.
Tiny Wars.
Yeah.
Or some, Tiny Metal.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I have that on my Switch. I haven't played it.
Switch
I wanted to
Switch is
support
long,
it.
or not the Switch. The 3DS is long gone, by the way. Now it's the Switch.
I don't know. They brought WarioWare recently for.
I know, but like that
I know,
system's
I know.
dead. It's done. It's
So I'm
doubtful.
curious. Maybe we'll see a lot of like Switch indie developers, like a big burst of those. But yeah, outside of that, just That's a lot, but outside of that, just enjoy the time there. I like Seattle. I'm hoping the weather. They're saying like there's some smoke and stuff, and fires. I hope it doesn't affect things too much. I'm hoping it's cooler than here because this is too hot.
I mean, I don't have much to say. I have, for some reason, I feel like it's not going to be a big issue once we get there. Cause
one time I went to. I've been to Oregon many times. Almost 90% of the times it's been cool or rainy or cloudy. The one time I took Katie, it was a heat wave. And I was like, fuck. Like, because I've been talking up how cool and like the weather was a big appeal. In addition to like,
so hot.
It was the worst. It was over 100 every day we were there. I was like, fuck this. God damn it.
Pack a hat.
I don't think PAX. I looked at the weather right now. It's like 60s or 70s, and it's gonna stay that way. But it's gonna be like whatever the weather.
The new California, man.
Last time I was at PAX, it was raining for one of the days.
Washington's the new California.
So I was like, "This is fine with me."
Washington's the new California.
So that's exciting. Do you have so Seattle? Have you been before?
I've been once.
Okay,
but like
I
drive by.
I gotta climb the needle.
Oh, you were doing that?
No, I'm just joking.
It's fun at night. It's nice.
I'm referring to the
I think you have to pay though.
Infamous. Because in Infamous 3, it's based in like a futuristic Seattle, Washington, and they have the needle, and obviously climbing that is one of like for the achievements and for like an event or whatever.
For other Seattle stuff, the gum wall it's in the Pike. It's still there. My friend
so I can chew gum and just.
I think so. I mean, if there's space, it's full.
Ugh.
Like
I put it over someone else's. I don't care.
I mean, if you want to touch those,
get like get like a good thick wall going.
Like
you know?
the tape gum. The EMP museum is right next to the Space Needle. That's where like it's pop culture museum. So they'll have like Jason Voorhees. They have the alien.
I thought it was an electromagnetic pulse.
What's cool about it's right next to the Science Center, which is sort of like our Discovery Science Center. But at nighttime, they do laser shows to Pink Floyd, Gorillaz, Michael Jackson, and maybe one other one. Those are cool. Like, I watched Gorillaz.
I think a friend's done the Pink Floyd one.
Oh, okay. I've done the Gorillaz one. That was fucking trippy.
Gorillaz has good music.
It's like they clear the seats because it's like one of those, not a observatory, but like, you know, when you go to observatory, they have like a theater, and like the center is no seats, but all the sides. Yeah. So you lie down in the center of one of those, and they do the laser show. It's pretty cool.
Do it. So it's sold.
Outside of clam chowder, that's my only experience with food there. The other stuff I had was kind of just generic.
Wait, so you've never done clam chowder?
No, I've done clam chowder. I didn't really have any other like staple of Seattle.
So you haven't done the mac and cheese?
No.
Didn't do the 12-egg omelette.
No.
You haven't done seafood?
No.
You're gonna do the 12-egg omelet.
The 12-egg omelet's gonna do me. Okay. Next topic.
You want to go with mine?
Should do mine.
Yes.
Segues to since we're going on vacation, vacay. What is the best vacation you have ever gone to?
Damn.
I haven't traveled too much.
I've got mine already.
Europe.
Yeah. So I mean, I've done a few. I've done. I've driven to Canada. I drove all the way up California, through Portland, through Washington, through Vancouver. We went to Whistler Blackcomb in Canada. I did China, and then I did Europe. And Europe was like the first like very touristy one I ever did. Like it was literally like it was all set up already. I just paid the amount, and then I went to Amsterdam, took a train to Brussels, checked out Paris, checked out London. But that was so eventful because it was like a thing where a bunch of people do it. So then we meet all these new people. Mm-hmm. I remember like getting to Amsterdam and like that. So we were like dead tired. It's a 16-hour fucking flight, or like not that long. It was like 12 or a little lower than that. I don't remember. But like we're dead tired. We just got there and it's like nighttime already. And people are like, hey, like they said there's like a pub crawl. It's like $8. And like you get a shirt, and like every new pub that we go to is free, like one free drink. And I'm like, dude, I don't fucking party. Like I don't go out anywhere. And like when I got there, I'm like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. No one here is gonna know me. Blah blah blah. It's like I'm down. So did a pub crawl. Like was dancing my ass off, getting super fucking drunk,
Prequel to PAX.
sweating like crazy. Ended up losing my shirt. Like I had it over my shoulder and was using it like a towel. I was like, whew, a little steamy in here.
Weekly DLC after party. That's the party.
But like the one, what's funny is like the event that makes me feel good, but also is like very strange, is like a group of guys walk up to me and he's like, hey dude, he's like, really good dancing, man. And I'm like, thanks, dude. And like in the moment, I'm like holding my pocket to make sure they're not like trying to like distract me and pickpocketing me or anything like that. And I'm like grabbing my shirt, making sure I still have my shirt over my shoulder. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. And he's like, yeah. And like, you know, I talked to him for a bit, or like the group for a bit, and then we hit it out. And I was dancing with two girls, technically. I was dancing with two girls that are part of the whole group. I mean, at the time, I saw it as like, obviously, like we're hanging out or whatever. I didn't see it as like dating or, you know, like hooking up or anything like that.
So we're gonna see this at PAX, right?
And so
wild Dan, we're gonna see
like
wild
at that.
I want to see that, Daniel.
At that moment, I was like, obviously, I was like scared. I thought these guys were trying to distract me. And they're gonna try to jack our shit. And like, you know, being anywhere in Europe, they talk about like, dude, the crazy pickpocketers, and I'm like, you know, like
it's cool that you had like that sort of awareness. A lot of people are just like already lost into the wave.
yeah, like
So what happened?
well, nothing. Like we continued, moving to different zones, and certain places are like, go to the bar, show them your wristband, they'll give you a free like one free drink, like
Pint?
no, like a bottle drink.
Oh, okay.
And then other places were like, as you walk in, they're like, they have like a bag full of alcohol, and they're just like,
God
pour it in
damn.
your mouth, pour it in your mouth, pour it in your mouth,
Bottle
pour it in your
service.
mouth. So it's just like shots as you walk in.
we're gonna see this, Daniel.
Other spots have a choice. You're like, you can get a bottle drink or a shot.
Fuck, I'm not ready for this.
And it was a lot. It was like 7 different pubs that were part of like that whole process or whatever. And I'm like, this is genius. Like they're bringing people into different areas, and like you can stop at the one place where you love the atmosphere and you're like, done, like I'm done, this is the one I want to stay at or whatever. And for me, it was literally like the second one. That's where like that whole event happened. I'm like, I could stay here, this is really cool. But we continued on because there's 11 more, and we're like, we want to see everything. And another one is in Paris. We were there for New Year's.
Wow.
So it really cool. Like at night, like once they do it in very few occasions, but New Year's one of them, where they have all the lights on the Eiffel Tower like light and like fireworks everywhere. And we went to a special spot. It's like on a cliff. We saw everything, and people were like drunk, couldn't remember how to get back. And I became like their lifeguard, because I was like, I have really good memory, so I was like, I know exactly how to get back, guys, if you guys just want to follow me. And so we all made it back safely. And I generally tend to like the transportation in other countries. Like, it's so easy to understand. It's like, and over here it's like, this bus goes 16 different directions,
And it's 2 hours late, and then you're gonna hit traffic, and
Oh
it's
my
already
God,
filled,
dude.
so you gotta wait for the next bus.
yeah, like,
And they close the service at a time they didn't advertise.
and it's not just like California. Like, I've done the bus system in Arizona, and I remember I was in one stop, and I'm like, okay, this goes all the way to where I need to go. And I get in, and I'm like, this goes straight, right? And he's like, no, this is the red line. This goes in a diagonal form. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I get off, go on the blue line. And it's like, does this go straight, right? And he's like, no, this goes in an L form, and it cuts off right before you need to get, or like halfway before you need to get to where you want. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, all right.
My 3 best American transportation experiences were Washington, Seattle, Portland in Oregon, and Boston.
Yeah, Portland was a good one too. I've done Portland twice now, I think.
When I grew up, I got to the point where they would let me just go on my own, and so I'd learn the bus system to get to the mall, and I'd be reading comics all day, and I'd take the bus back.
Another event in, this is also Paris. So this was like a last minute add-on. It wasn't part of like the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, hey, there's a private dinner that we're doing. And it was like $60. It was like a lot, but I'm like, dude, we're in fucking Paris. Like, let's do it.
Full girl.
So we did it, and it's like, dude, the restaurant was ridiculously small. Like, it was a one-way walkway, like in between the tables. Like, it was just one, like in the middle. And like, if two people were there, someone had to sit down, the other one can walk through, and the other had to get back up again. And so, and we ended up filling the whole thing up. Like, we brought enough people, or enough people paid into the thing. And what's funny is, over there, Stella is like their regular beer. So it's like unlimited free Stella. And then here's like a white wine that's unlimited free. Like, just ask whatever you want. And the bottle like was like a 5-liter bottle of Stella. And my buddy at the time loved that shit. So he's like, oh my God. So he literally, the very first bottle, he like puts it away. He like hides it in his bag, and he's like, we didn't get a bottle. And he's like, oh, we're so sorry. And like, they bring another bottle, and we start drinking it. And when we get back to the place, he's like, I got another bottle. He was all excited or whatever.
That's funny.
But that's where I got to try out escargot. So they had like different, like, they're like, here's 3 different appetizers, here's different meals, here's different, and we had enough people where like we can get one of everything and literally try it out. So like, my buddy got escargot, I had another thing, and I'm like, let's try escargot, and it's rubbery. I mean, it's whatever's. What else? There's that. Brussels and London were the most disappointing, but like, it didn't kill the rest of the. Okay. It was just like, I was already running out of money, and I remember like in Brussels, it's like they've got like crazy ass Belgian waffles, like that's like their side snack everywhere. Like, that's what they have, and like here in California, it's like elote stand or whatever. Over there, it's waffles.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, let's get down. I'm like, how much is it? She's like, $8. I'm like, look at my wallet. I'm like, I'll get a plain one. You know, it's like, oh. And then London, it was like, you got to have fish and chips. You know, you got to do fish and chips. And it tastes like any other place that has fish and chips, too. I was so disappointed. Like, I can get this in California, man. But
I don't know how you can make it amazing, though. Like, what's the potential for fish and chips?
The tartar sauce.
It could be the tartar sauce. It could be like there's still a possibility for it to be
like
a
spice.
There's only so much that can get, like, in terms of like potential deliciousness versus some other.
Okay,
other
instead of deep frying it in oil, deep fry it in milk butter. Boom, done. Amazing.
How much better does that make?
No, I'm joking. I don't even think you can fry anything in milk butter. But what else? I know that we obviously walked across the Abbey Road. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, like, at the time it wasn't a very busy street.
Huh.
So, when we visited,
barefooted?
No. But yeah, obviously everyone's taking pictures of like them in like a walking position. What else do I remember from it? London was also shitty because of the hotel we stayed in. They were hyping it up. They're like, yeah, dude, it's like a very old building, you know, like historical. Yeah, old building that's never been updated. Damn it, the fucking elevator doesn't even work and shit. But I remember that we actually, London was one of the places we stayed the most, and I loved like just waking up in London because there's so much to do. There was like, you walk, park, like an actual activity park, like not parking lot or whatever,
right?
A park, and then you like walk like 3 more blocks, another park, and you're just like, this is amazing, you know? Like everyone, and then like, people are active, like that. They're walking their dogs, or like, it's not like, you know, you go in like a shitty park that has like dead ducks floating in the pond or something. It just seemed very lively. It seemed better than the average place I've seen.
Okay.
So in a sense, that was nice, but there was nothing eventful that happened in London.
I mean, the trip as a whole sounds pretty crazy.
So that's been mine, and then hopefully next year I can do my first boat cruise. So we'll have to talk about that because that'll probably be a week.
I don't
Daniel,
think we can allow that.
Daniel Gone Wild,
Yeah.
the prequel.
What about you, Jay?
Mine would have to. Dude, I haven't actually. The only country I've been out of is Mexico and Korea, and so I would have to say Korea. I spent like a whole summer there.
Oh shit!
What was the?
I was like,
Oh, you're young.
7th grade. Yeah, I want to go back as an adult, but it was fun, and for some strange reason, like since I knew how to speak English, like all the kids would just like follow me.
But
like I was just like this like local.
Do you feel comfortable with your?
I could understand it. Speaking it, I speak like a third grader.
Okay, I'm similar with like Spanish.
Yeah.
I understand it very well, but like, and the thing is, like, there's a lot of Spanglish living in like like Southern California that I like assume is right from time to time. So like, it's literally just like saying movie with a Spanish accent. Movie, movie. And so I remember going one time. I'm like, let's go watch, a movie. The guy said, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, like on the big screen. And he's like, "A película?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that. Let's go watch it." And I'll be like, bummed out. I'm like, "I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Like, how the fuck did I assume that was the right word?"
So I can speak and understand Farsi pretty
Yeah.
well, but I know that when they get like, if I were to go to a native area where they
would
speak
know.
it, there's a lot of phrases and slang that I would all be over my head. I'm like, I understand all the words you just said, but I do not understand what you're trying to mean by saying like, let's go hang it at the place. Or like the way they phrase it, I'm like, what does that mean? Like, take an arrow to the knee. Because there's some phrases like that where I'm like, why would I want an arrow? Like, why is that a good luck thing? Or like, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I'm doing the VR chat and there's Korean people and I could trick them. They're like, "Oh shit, this guy's Korean," and then I would speak English and I hear him go, "Holy shit, your English is perfect." I was like, "Actually, yeah, I can't speak Korean that well."
So you'd go back to your trip to Korea was one of your favorite experiences?
Yeah.
What about it made it?
I don't know. It was just chilling, dude. Like go to the arcades every day and
But it was like summer break. Right?
So it
I
wasn't
think
like a
that's
short
why.
week. It was like the whole.
it was like
Like
3
7
months, man.
Okay.
It was.
Wow. What was the occasion? If you don't mind me
I don't know. Just
asking? You were
to
just
go.
there when
Yeah.
you were. Yeah.
Just
But I think that's what made it amazing is like there's nothing you have to do. It's just like you do whatever the fuck.
Do you remember how you felt at the time? Like, did it freak you out, or were you like just excitement, or?
the weather sucked. I mean, it was cool. I mean, at first I was like,
I don't
know
want to.
No, I was like, whatever.
Like
But
the
then-
flight, how was that?
That, yeah, I think it's a long flight. I don't remember how many hours, but it's more than 12 hours for sure. I remember a grandma like sleeping on my shoulder, and I didn't want to be like rude, and then so I just like let her sleep on my
That's
shoulder.
good, dude. That's manners.
Bullseye.
There's a just to bring it up. There's a video of like this grandma who's like falling asleep. Like it looks like a train, and this kid's like on the pole that's in front of her, and it looks like she's about to like fall asleep and hit the pole, and he puts his hand like right in between. And it's just like a guy, like obviously, like slightly taking a video. He's like, "These are manners," and the guy's just trying to like, just not let her like hit the pole like full on. So I was like, and I imagine you like, sleeping on your shoulder. He's like, I guess.
But domestically, best trip is. Did you guys ever go to like the DC area?
I've always
Like,
wanted to.
Yeah, like I don't know. In junior high, you had this chance to like take this tourist, like DC area. It's just fun going with friends and stuff. And just messing around and almost getting kicked out of the trip. But
Nice. I don't know why, but when I'm imagining a little you, I'm imagining you now just shrunken,
The same head.
the same beard, the glass, just
Just
Dude, I was-
like small.
I was crazier, dude, back then. I'm a lot more mellow.
Or I'm like the other way, where I imagine you have like long hair, like up to here, like
The
just,
Sirius
like,
Black?
What's up?
He's got
I'm,
that
I'm
so
bringing,
much-
I'm bringing the wig just so you know in PAX.
Oh yeah, you better bring the patch too.
Oh yeah, for the event.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, so growing up, I traveled, but I feel it's like I did and I didn't. Every summer we spent at my grandparents for a few months. So it'd be in Oregon, and I'd be like, I've been to Oregon many times, but I never Like it was always, let's go to these 4 places and we're going to spend the rest of it family. So I never really got to explore Portland and stuff. So only in recent time have I, like I mentioned, the trip Katie and I took was like us exploring Portland and seeing things that I never had seen before.
Yeah.
But because of that, like a lot of our travel opportunities were limited just that. So we couldn't afford, like we weren't either able to afford or we didn't have the time available to do our own travels outside of like little day excursions or weekend excursions in Oklahoma. So when I could finally start travel when I was like an adult, I had a job, all this stuff. It's just been like an excitement of me like, oh, you know, I want to go travel this. I want to go camp that. I want to do this. And then Katie is very much the same way. And I love her for that, is that we're like big on travel. And I'd have to say my favorite trip I've ever taken has to be last year, our 5-year anniversary to Japan, just because of 2 factors. One, it is the most foreign, alien, different thing I've ever experienced in every respect. I've never been on a flight that long. I've never been to a place that far. I've never been in a culture so drastically different.
Yeah.
And all of it was it lined up the right way. I know that all those things can line up the wrong way, or in the wrong, you know, however the circumstances may be. But it was just a lot of different sensations, both to the taste, to the sights, to the experiences. And it was so like what was also freaky was we didn't go on a tour. Like we went on our own, and I've mentioned before, like this trip, like all the things we did, but just the scale of things, like seeing like a Buddhist temple and how big that shrine was. Like the largest thing I've seen stateside that would compare to that would be like a building, not like an actual statue. Seeing forests where it was like intended for like a giant, what it would feel like. So that was a huge part of it. The other half of it was like, in another way, I've never been in a relationship as long as I have as this one. And so it was a huge milestone for both of us where we were like, we want to celebrate it the biggest way we can for 5 years. And that was very important to me and very special. So like the combination of those two was really cool. I'd say second to that was for my 25th birthday. She surprised me with a trip to Seattle. It was the first time I'd been to Seattle. And the way she set it up was really cool. She's like, for your 25th birthday, you got 25 things you got to do. And to me, I was like, it's a quest. So it was like, go to the Pike, go to the MP Museum, go to, like, it was like, this is our to-do list. Like, this is the itinerary. But she laminated it as if it was like a checklist card. And I still have it.
Checked off and everything.
Yeah. It was like
100% complete?
Yeah, 100% complete. Like before it wasn't laminated. Then afterwards she surprised me. She laminated. Like she went through a lot of detail and care. I was like, man, this is fucking cool. And it's also really cool that you did this. Like that you planned this out.
So you're doing that for us, right?
Yeah. That's why I got all this stuff scheduled. I
That's
got some surprises.
Rolls all the way out that way.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch a D unknown for each of you guys. No, I'd say the third coolest or the third most special so far for me has been a camp trip, Mount Palomar. It's like halfway to San Diego.
Yeah.
And then inland an hour, like right when you get to Oceanside. And I've been camping before, but this is the first time I've gone up of a mountain for an area that's intended for stargazing. And the amount, like I know if you go to like a camping area in general, the lack of city lights and pollution and stuff, you can see so many stars already, like at ground level. But like doing it from an area that's intended for observatories and stuff in the mountains, you can literally see the Milky Way with your naked eye. And
That's
that
crazy.
blew my mind. Like I had existential crisis every few minutes.
When you look at it, it looks crazy. Like you can see a clear sky.
Just like the whole sky is filled with light. So I didn't feel like there was any darkness, even though it was dark. But like you saw a thick, radiant, like bright
purple
portion, and I'm like, what was that? And a lot of they're like, that's the Milky Way. Like you're seeing the rest of it. And then all of a sudden I see this moving thing. I'm like, oh, that's a satellite. He's like, no, that's the International Space Station. I was like, what the fuck? And then like people had like really pro telescopes, and so it wasn't just like even with a dinky one you could be amazed, but the pro ones, like you look and it's like you're seeing cells. Like there's a strong concentration just in one. I was like, my mind is being blown repeatedly right now.
So did you ever feel like? So a lot of times when I've been in areas where like the stars are not, I wouldn't say 100% clear that you saw, but they're a lot clearer. It looks like it's a blanket with holes.
Yeah,
it looks so. I like the feeling.
It's calming, but it blows. Like at the same time, it's blowing your mind, and it just like you think about things differently. Like at least I did. I was like,
there's people out there.
Well, like you start thinking about all these things you've read and seen in science fiction.
Damn, Japanese pro wrestling is better than American.
I wonder if the Undertaker will ever lose.
That SummerSlam ending, though.
Have you ever had
No, but like it just things that like you. I don't want to like. It's not like it makes you feel insignificant. It doesn't make you feel insignificant, but it does at the same time. It's like there's a bigger picture, and you get a sense of it.
I think what it is like you feel insignificant, but it's not a negative feeling. It's like a very overwhelming, like there's more to life. Like
like at the same, it's like, I mean, like existential crisis. You're like, what's the point of it all? But then, like, once you get lost in it and you're amazed by it, you come back and you ground yourself with whatever you figured out personally. And that I was like, this is like a drug, and I don't need to take anything. I just need to come here and see this. And that blew my mind.
You need more caffeine.
And the thing was, that was the first time. Like, I've gone camping with friends before, but usually we've shared tents. I went with a group of classmates, and some of them were either in relationships, so they were more of the clique, and I was kind of like, I was friends with them, but I was kind of new. So I was like, I'm going to be on my own tent. I'm going to be in my own car. And that was like me traveling on my own, sort of, but at the same time not.
You're like, I got my own house.
I got this tent that said it was for 4 people. Is bullshit. Like every time they say that, it was one. I barely fit in there. I put my full me in a backpack. It's like for kids.
For kids.
Yeah, for kids. So that
Fortnite.
I missed stargazing. Is like, it's like a hell of a drug.
Let's do it. Weekly DLC stargazing.
Well, we can because it's smoky.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh well, not in Seattle, Washington. You can do it around here.
Yeah, I love it. It's the best.
Nice.
Yeah. We're gonna try to make PAX #1.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
We're gonna see Wild Daniel.
Wild Vargas.
At the Microsoft event, free alcohol.
All of a sudden, someone knocks on our room door, like, "Hey, is this the party?" Like, what the fuck?
No. It'll be people like, "Hey, Daniel told us there's a party."
Greg Miller's like, "Daniel invited us, dude."
Have you met this dude? He's really cool.
yeah, Spider-Man.
2 Spider-Man.
All right, last topic. This is where we're gonna shame
corruption.
Yeah.
So there's been like 2 corruption stories, pretty much. There's a librarian who spent $98,000 on a mobile game.
Pokemon.
I don't even remember the name of the game. That's another.
It was me.
And then just recently there was a politician who took I think over $100,000 worth of
almost
of campaign money. Didn't use all of it on gaming, but it's reported that at least $1,800 worth of that went towards Steam. So, with that in mind, my topic was, what's the dumbest thing you think you could be caught spending? Like, either obviously money that isn't intended to be what you're spending it on. Like, if the weekly DLC started,
what's
having
the dumbest thing, or
equipment.
What would I spend? I take it as
wait, say that again. What's the dumbest thing?
Well, like, what's like the craziest thing you would feel like if you got caught spending this? It'd be I feel embarrassed.
Porn, because it's free.
I'd be ashamed.
I wouldn't be ashamed.
But it's free.
Okay,
Why would you
I'm
pay
okay
for
with
it?
higher quality porn.
I mean, you can
I don't
get
think
that
all
for
free porn is high quality.
Yeah,
you can find high quality free porn.
Yeah.
But
Bro, are we having episode 69
but
plus?
yeah.
the
We're
money
bringing it back.
is worse.
It's
Uh,
embarrassing.
I do
too.
think, okay, it's embarrassing, but it's a small little bucket list for me to be like, I've never had access to like browsers. And I've always wondered what that is.
VIP.
So I've had the luxury
Maybe when I'm an elderly. I'll be like,
I've had the luxury of going to 4chan,
Ooh.
and in different forms,
luxury.
someone will post up like, "Hey, I have like a month's worth."
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And for some reason, this is back when browsers didn't have a limit on like accounts. So like if you posted up
Logins?
your stuff, yeah,
Okay.
multiple people can log into the same account, and it was like, have at it, guys, for a month, you know.
Have at it.
You know.
Raw.
So I've had the luxury of checking it
Okay.
out.
Okay.
It's I can tell you that after doing that month, I'm like, it's not really worth fucking paying for a month.
I don't know.
I could possibly find all these. The only difference is I can find, obviously, you can find like the highest rated movies for free because like if someone's gonna illegally have it somewhere. But all the other stuff that doesn't get very popular, you won't be able to usually find that. But it's not popular for a reason. That's all I gotta
You
say.
know what's a hard one to find? The Golden Girls parody.
Christ.
It's. I'll leave it there.
Debbie Does Dallas, dude. It's classic.
Okay, so I think I get what you're saying now.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Let's see. I haven't thought about it, but I think it would have to be, and it's already current, really. It would have to be getting caught spending money on a mobile game because I already think it's ridiculous. Like,
You do?
why would you spend that much money on a mobile game? And I've willingly and sadly spent. I'm pretty sure it's well over $250
I don't even want
on
to.
a mobile game. And like the problem is, Google will be like, "Here's your yearly spending,"
I don't even
and I'm like,
wanna-
"What? Why would you do this to me?"
I don't even want to look at how much I put.
Is it for Pokemon Go?
Yes,
Okay, only for Pokemon Go.
only for Pokemon Go. It's,
don't know.
It's been a lot.
I feel like the game I'm playing, it's not like I have moments where it's like, why the fuck am I even playing this game? You know, like it's because it's like it's a thing you play daily, like to keep up with everything. But then there's days where like I'm so tired, I'm like, I don't even want to really like open this app. But it's like I've spent money on this shit. I better get my money's worth, and I force myself to open this app. Other than that, what would be the most embarrassing thing that I would be caught spending money? I don't know. I like to splurge. I'm thinking like, what would be like a ridiculous thing that I would buy?
Battleborn.
No, I wouldn't.
That's one of my biggest regrets.
I wouldn't
the deluxe
spend-
edition.
I wouldn't spend money on like. I haven't had an urge to buy anything collectors. Like the statues, I'm not even gonna put them up.
Oh,
What
those
would-
hentai figures. That'd be pretty embarrassing.
that would be embarrassing. And I honestly, if I had like extra cash, I'd probably pick one up. I think so. That's something that I'd be embarrassed about because I talk shit on that all the time. Like, you know who I'm talking about. Like, I'd be like, I would never be seen with these statues, and here I am talking about apparently picking up a statue. So
PAX, your first one.
that would be very embarrassing.
While Daniel makes a purchase.
Laura Croft.
All I gotta say is I follow a Twitter account called like Otaku,
Oh yeah, I know.
and they put up some pretty,
Ridiculous.
ridiculously clothless statues.
Well detailed.
But they're fucking well detailed. Yeah, dude. Holy shit.
You ever go on Play Asia?
Yeah.
I know what it is, yeah.
They have good game stuff, but then there's like a figure section. You're like, what the
Yeah. Oh no, Blu-rays is another thing.
fuck? Really?
So the reason why I think I would be embarrassed is I own a shit ton of Blu-rays.
Okay.
I've seen like 1% of my movies.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like the reason I own them is because I've seen them, like either in movies or on TV, and I'm like, I really love this movie. I'm picking it up, but then I don't ever have an urge to rewatch something I've already seen. Like I've been planning to rewatch, Scott Pilgrim,
Oh.
and I'm just like, I'll look at I'm like, I've already seen it. I know everything that happens in this movie. why would I watch it again? But
Do you
then,
not
like, as you
rewatch
watch it,
movies?
I don't. Like, it's just like I never have an urge to. But I have like rewatched
Mhm.
movies. But like, I never have that urge. I don't. And here I am, like, buying a shit ton. I've spent a good $400 on Japanese Studio Ghibli or Ghibli movies. I still pronounce it as Ghibli. I feel like that's the right way.
So you're
But
gonna
it's
It is
Ghibli.
Ghibli.
Oh, never mind
It's
that.
Ghibli, the one that I thought was right. And
Then I
found
don't know.
So you're gonna rewatch
Ghibli.
Grave of the Fireflies?
Dude, dude, there's no reason to ever rewatch that movie. One time.
Yeah,
That's all you
You
need.
never forget.
Holy shit, dude. That movie, it sucker punches you, and then while you're on the ground, just kicks you in the face.
Teabags you.
Oh, my God, dude. And then you want to make the Teabag Guild. Oh, my gosh. Investing in that Teabag Guild, that'd be embarrassing. Do you have one?
I mean, you guys are making me embarrassed about it, but I've spent on mobile games. I don't know. I feel like, I used to have an issue with a lot of things. I'd be like, I'd never
Do this.
get a loot crate
I
or
never-
buy a amiibo.
I never
or
buy a furry costume next week.
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's a good one.
You're like that SpongeBob.
Ooh.
I don't know. Like, I feel like no matter what I buy, as long as whatever goals I have and things I need to do that's on the responsible side is handled,
Mhm.
that other stuff is my decision to be like, okay, instead of buying like
Drugs.
well, not drugs, but like within reason. Like people, I remember for a while people would be like, I guess maybe some of these, I don't know. Sometimes people like make you feel because like they are vocal. Like for instance, I've known some people where they're like a certain dollar value for clothing, or they're like if it's anything higher than this dollar value for like a shirt,
Hell
or for,
no, you know?
they're like, why? Like it makes no sense. And I understand that. I'm not disrespecting
But then
like
there's-
another person, but like sometimes there's like a polo
Yeah.
that I really like, and I love wearing polos to work or not at work, but they have like an insignia or something, and it's like $25-$30, and I'm like, to me
Well,
that's worth it.
Let me give you an example. So I have a coworker who at work, she seems normal, super into Janko or Jinko jeans.
Oh, those.
These
I
are the
remember
jeans
those.
that like it
90s.
look like fucking skirts
The
for
90s
each
one,
leg.
where there used to be like hard style,
Yeah.
like white kids. just
Yeah,
like-
exactly. So the company doesn't exist anymore,
You can find them,
but you can find them
yeah, yeah.
exactly. And if you find like original ones, they're not cheap.
Yeah.
So like this is like the second day she's at work. We're like both on break at the same time or on lunch at the same time, and she's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Dude, these jeans are amazing." I'm like, "Oh my God, you're into those things," and like the price tag is $250.
Whoa.
And she's like, "Dude, if I didn't buy whatever I bought like a couple days ago, I'd be so down to put a bid on this." And I'm like, "You're willing to spend $250 on fucking jeans, dude?"
All right, we gotta start making these jeans.
The other
Holy
day,
shit. Bro.
my friend Saya was telling me about like there's like a person who their entire closet, nothing in that closet, no single item in that closet costs less than $50,000.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
And I'm like-
it's that YouTuber.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
The
And
chick.
I don't
or,
understand.
well,
Yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, it made me think of like what mindset that person has to be, but like that's their life that somehow. I feel like this is something like that. But okay, I thought it's something that I would be, and I've done it a few times. And
it's the shirt you have on because
No.
it's ridiculous
Hey,
achievements.
I earned this shirt. It was paying above retail for amiibos. That was embarrassing for me.
Yeah, I see that.
And I was when it first came out. When I first decided, I'm like, I'm gonna start collecting these. I made a conscious decision. I'm like, I want to start collecting these, and I bought a bunch retail. And I was like, okay, that's one thing. But then, like the fitness trainer was not available, or Shulk wasn't available, and so I was going through eBay, and I'm like,
Or Mac.
$40, and it's a $12 figure,
Yeah.
$50. I was like.
It's just
I later hit a
a moment.
No,
realization.
intervention. I had an intervention with the people that love me that are close.
The one person.
Well, Katie and my brother
Okay.
largely were the biggest voices of reason. And then I went and sold a lot of them. And they were still, luckily, the ones that I'd done that for were worth a lot. So I mitigated my losses.
Yeah.
A lot more than I thought I would. I thought I was just burning the money. I was like, I'm just selling these for like negative dollars, but it was like if I bought them for 40, I sold them for like 35.
That's good.
So I was like, okay, I don't feel horrible anymore, but I still feel bad.
With innovation, then yeah, you know that's bad.
Yeah, when I had that, I was like, this got bad fast.
Too bad you can't get
I have some amiibos, but I've always, ever since I'm like, okay, if I get one, it's because there's a reason I want it.
Yeah.
Like I wanted the Zelda one because I'm playing Zelda. I wanted something to use it, and then I was like, I'm not paying more than retail for whatever. Like I'm not going to the people that are trying to profit off of me. Like you're trying to flip something for a higher price. Yeah. Like at a BlizzCon, they'll immediately get a swag thing and put it up for eBay for like triple the price.
Holy shit, man! And I have a friend, Alan. He literally like.
That's what he does.
Yeah, and he does it well though. He does it well. He goes to different events, buys exclusive shit, resells it.
I mean,
makes
for
money.
them, it works. I mean,
Yeah.
there's people that it works on, but I was like on the receiving end of that. I was like, I did not like how it felt. But going back to Pokemon Go, I feel like I invest time into it and I enjoy the game and I enjoy what I'm getting. That like if I put aside a little bit from whatever paychecks I have, that is like this is fun money. How I spend it for fun is fine. So
Yeah.
whether I buy a Switch game or I buy stuff that makes Pokemon like work within my schedule or whatever, okay. I know some people that are like, I've been free to play and I've achieved so much, and I'm like, props to you because I know how hard it was without like getting these things. One thing I'm still sort of embarrassed by, and I don't advertise it a lot within Pokemon circles. There's a thing where every day you get a raid pass for free. Every day. If you want to do any more, you have to spend coins on it, which is the in-game currency, to get more raid passes. And a lot of times they'll have sales on them, so you can get like 20 of them for like a third of the cost.
Yeah.
There was one time there was a sale that I got an absurd amount of these things, and you can't. There's other items like things that double your experience when you use them, or Pokeballs or whatever else. You can, even if you've bought them, you can delete them from your storage if you run out. These I can't delete from my storage. They won't let you, which is, I understand, that's fine. But
You paid for it.
I mean, I paid for it, but at
Yeah.
the same time, like I paid for other parts of it, and if like I don't like in a bundle, I got like 20 Pokeballs, 30 passes.
Oh.
I don't care about the Pokeballs because I can spin and get more. I delete the Pokeballs. The passes they don't let you get rid of. So but the rate at which I do the raids versus how many I've had has been not proportional, and so I have just like a pile of them. And I've talked to the people that raid a lot, way more than me, and they are always like, "Yeah, I think I have like I should get some more. I'm at like 10 or 20," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need to worry about it." And I've shown them, and they're like, "Mother of God." And I'm like, I don't even want to say the number anymore. I don't. I'm not going to say the number. I can show you guys, and you guys can react.
Nah.
99.
If you want to, that's fine. I
But
feel like there's a
99.
max, and he has a couple of those stacks.
So the maximum items you can have in your Pokemon storage as a whole, altogether, is 2,000.
So if you have 1,000 of one thing, you can have only 1,000 of everything else, or like totaled.
Total, like my Pokeballs, my potions, my passes, and
So
anything
if
else.
you have 2,000 Pokeballs, you don't have anything.
you
else
have no room for anything
Okay.
else.
I thought it was like limited to like you can have 2,000 in one section, but then you can have
780.
multiple. Let me see.
You're not
You
going to
gotta-
say
you
it.
gotta guess.
No, I'm not gonna say the number. Don't say the number. Okay. So, just to make sure,
2,000, right? Only just to make sure.
actually, now like when you think of that limit number, you're like, okay, that's a good chunk. You get one a day.
And so when I get a free one a day,
Yeah.
it doesn't use those. So I have to do 2 a day to use one of those.
Can you just use them and not?
I mean, I could redeem one and walk away.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that's helped now is that my office building, it used to be just a Pokestop. Now it's a gym. So from my desk, if ever anything pops up, I can just do one.
Nice.
And so it's made like I've made it a personal goal now.
Like you
Like
have to use it.
Like for me, now that I'm 40, I don't really have any goals. This is now a goal of mine to whittle away at that.
But
I haven't gotten anything.
I'm gonna laugh when like because I think there's talks of like increasing the limit, right?
Of the storage?
Character
Yeah,
level.
I'm already above it. Like I'm already at like if 20 million was the max, like to get to level 40, you need 20 million XP. I'm at 30 million now.
Wait, so it'll keep going?
The XP keeps going.
So if like they are like all right,
You auto
next
fill.
one's 50,
Yep.
yeah. Oh
Jeez.
shit.
So there are people right now that are
You shouldn't
pro.
have said that. You should have said the bet. Get the
You-
next
yeah,
bet
you should
ready.
have been like,
should've
you
got
want to
the
bet
next
me
bet.
that I will get to
So,
50
yeah,
in
get to
like
50
2 weeks?
next 1 minute.
Tomorrow, I'm already.
So there are traders right now that have 999 million XP.
Wow.
And it's just that's their goal is that they want
Is
that
that
number.
the max that you can have?
They don't know the max. They're
Does
just
it-
going.
Okay.
Anyway, my goal now in that game is to whittle away at that raid passes. And I like that goal because it's helping me prevent myself from getting more. Like anytime I see a bundle, if it has raid passes, I'm like, I can't
Nope.
get it because it adds to the problem.
Adds the problem.
I have a sick mind.
I think at this point it's a solution to the problem because now you're spending less. But
Yeah, that too. I am. But anyway.
you spend money to save money. It's a good idea.
Yeah, if my full storage is those things, I can't buy anything else. All right, Jang, what about you?
I already said porn and
I thought that was a
anime
joke.
figures.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm being serious.
I thought you were like
porn
giving
and
advice.
porn and anime figures.
So I'm gonna just on like I guess it's the end. I'd like to just cut everything out.
Like
so-
in terms of this topic?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing
So
else.
I was just gonna bring up like if I had like either campaign money or obviously like money from the government that I'm supposed to use towards the library. I feel like if I ever got caught, this is what would be on the news headline: is dude spends $200,000+ on World of Warcraft tokens. That's what my headline would be. 'Cause
And you know
at
what?
this moment, I've never spent money on World of Warcraft. I mean, obviously the subscription, but I've never actually like you can buy mounts. You can buy what they have now is Warcraft tokens, which is like a subscription. Means it's 1 month subscription, and you can sell that for actual in-game gold.
Okay.
There's a mount in this new expansion that's worth 5 million gold, which currently at the market value of that token is around $500 if you were to buy the tokens worth of the amount to get that mount or whatever.
Okay.
So I would, if I had like, if I felt like I could get away with it, and like, I was gonna do it, like that's probably what I would do. I would literally do that and buy like every exclusive mount that costs this insane amount of fucking gold.
But see, there'd be a lot of people that'd be like, "Damn, that's pretty embarrassing." But there's gonna be a couple people like, "Hey, that's kind of cool." Dude. Like some hardcore World of Warcraft, like that's cool.
So
dude.
that the one with the congressman,
Yeah.
my friends and I were talking about. We're like, this is real, and then we double check the dates at which because they show each purchase like $5, $20, $15. He did it during a non-sale period. So people are like, you bought Steam games when it wasn't even a
that's
sale.
the crime. That's the crime.
That's the crime. Yeah, yeah. We're like, dude, shame
You're
on
like, you
this.
could have had 3 times the amount of games, bro.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
That's funny,
Yeah.
dude. Just check the time. There's no selling this time.
This guy is fucking
Go to jail.
savage. No pardon.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Just to elaborate on the tokens, they fluctuate in market value. So like one day they could be worth 100,000 gold.
Like bitcoins.
Yeah, and then some days it can be worth like 250,000 gold. So my buddy, the Korku who keeps talking to me about World of Warcraft, he's bought like a handful of them, like 3 or 4.
Okay.
He says the best value he's bought them at was they were worth 250,000 gold per token. Right now they're at like 139. So if I were to buy one and then sell it, I would get $139,000 or gold or whatever.
Okay.
Which I currently, another milestone. I've never had this much. I have over 100,000 gold, like 139,000 gold. Oh no, I'm sorry, no, not even that close. 103,000 gold. I've never had that much, and so it was like today I met that milestone. I all the new content, a lot of it sells for a lot because people are trying to like grab a lot of it to like build their skills up. Like there's enchanting where you would disenchant, you would break new equipment down to get certain stuff out of it, and so that's what I'm specifically selling. Like when I find a gear that I could normally wear, but you're always gonna find better gear if it's green. There's always gonna be better gear. The best gear is purple or orange. Okay. So when I see green, it's like I shouldn't even waste my time on this. Like it's a waste. And so they like it says if I sell it to just a regular NPC, it's 30 gold. Okay. I can put it on exchange for 130 gold. Wow. So I'm just like, I put a special add-on where like I can set the gold value and then just put in an item and put it in auction house. Put in the item, put in auction. I don't have to keep entering the totals. So I put 139 every single piece I'm selling, and I'm underselling like crazy. Like people are trying to sell this stuff for like 500 gold.
Oh wow!
But it's like sometimes they won't sell, and there's a fee that you have to pay, and it's a percentage of the amount you're trying to sell it for. And if you don't sell it, that fee's like they take that fee and you lose it. Okay. If you sell it, you get that fee back.
Okay.
So it's like I don't want to be losing this money, so I'm like I'm gonna just sell it, make sure it sells. And like I was at like 98,000, and then like sold enough to make over 2,000, and boom, broke that limit I've never had before. So it's exciting.
Yeah, in Pokemon Go, there's Stardust, which is like the currency in which you use to now trade, but also to power up things. And for the longest time, whenever I have enough to power up something, I just start like using all of it, and I'm gone. I have nothing again. I'm almost at 1 million, which for me is a lot, but a lot of people like
they've done calculations.
Huh?
They've done calculations.
No, a lot of people like that I know are in the usually fluctuating between 1 to 3 million because they don't use it often. They just kind of like sit on some. They use a little bit. There's an efficient way of using it where it's like if you power up a Pokemon past a certain point, you get diminishing returns, and so they're like that's wasted. So they don't power up past. To me, I want everything maxed. Yeah. So I'm like, I want this maxed out. I want just because I like the full number to be like this thing's powerful. Like it's as powerful as it can be. To me, that's satisfying. I don't feel bad about that, but I feel like there's a pride in. It's in a way like managing your in-game currency, and I'm like, I'm learning to manage that better, and it's like teaching me a little discipline. So.
That doesn't correlate to the real world.
Hey, it's one step at a time, baby steps, okay? And speaking of that, let's end the episode by taking baby steps out.
By spending all the money from the DLC.
Spending it at PAX, that's probably what's going to happen.
Where guys, can they find me?
Yeah, where can people find me?
They can
besides that's in PAX.
Other than PAX next weekend, you can find me at the Fulio 365 on Instagram and in the Fulio every other social media.
At The Last Bosses everywhere.
Find me at Kucher Prime. Find us all at the Weekly DLC. Please let us know if you have any thoughts, feedback on our episodes, on our whole podcast as a whole, concerns, suggestions, anything. We always love hearing from fans. With that, we'll be at PAX. We're going to try and get audio episodes out every day we're there. And then we'll have some video, hopefully, for you guys after, like when we were finished. Because I don't think we have the tools or resources to be able to do it at PAX yet. But we're going to try and do what we can while we're there. Maybe like just give our thoughts for each day and some other stuff. So stay tuned. And with that, we'll
DLC
you later.